Who
I feel like I'm being watched.
is Tremendous?
I don't know. It's a guy.
This is us focusing in on him right now.
Free at last! Free at last! Free
Walking down MLK, just thinking. Brain freeze, I think too hard, just breathe. Rhymes these is to be too smart. Relax, we max out the freestyle card. No dime, so mine, we don't need to talk. We just do it for the art, like my man painting in the park. No trees, no bark, we so uncharted. Mad mind, but also good-hearted. Let me sip my drink, I'm so parched. I mean parched, so just park it. Right here, miss, you ain't gotta arch it. We can hit the stars, we can go to Mars quick. Skrillex talent, but we don't Mars pit. Maybe one day we'll end up on that piff. Accelerate, they don't get exhausted. Check the date, we are ready for March if need be. So what, feel me, gas tank empty. Lyrics plenty, fill up, no E, rolling, coasting, no blunt, no weed, no chief, no keef, no weed, so leave. A harsh impression, kick spin so slick, I don't need the Wesson. That goes for the coach, and also the weapons or the grease in the battle. It's up in your kitchen, red hot crimson, so fly the crimson, let me dance, got no plans for prison. The vibe is alive and we loving what we dealing. If you ride the beat, bops, grab the caps and tip them. Cowboy, in it for the finish, a crew like interest, and we too live. Cause we started from scrimmage, the way we innovate in the brain, we could be.
What's up? I'm Tremendous, and this is Boombox Playlist.
Okay, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Basically, this year has been a bunch of changes as far as the rebranding of the companies I've been working with to really more so focus myself more on music and media and other things. And so with pretty much Fourth House, what I've been trying to do is just kind of streamline a lot of the things that artists need to achieve their goals, in music. A lot of the things that I learned how to do in the last few years have come as a result of necessity, obviously. And so Fourth House kind of was the growth of all of those things becoming comprised into one entity that could offer the same thing I needed as an artist to other artists who need help learning how to do those things. So we connect people with other professionals who have the skills they're looking for. We consult for all types of business, and we consult with music, anything in music. So I'm helping people learn how to put together their projects, pretty much how to build relationships with others, and a lot of the things that I've needed to know how to do. So that's pretty much what the birth of Fourth House has been. Recently, I started doing music, I guess as a kid, really. We're gonna get technical. I started writing poetry probably around like 8 or 9, and mostly kind of school projects, and it kind of evolved into, being involved in music and getting lessons. I had a piano teacher when I was 8. I took lessons for maybe 3 years and kind of, became an intermediate player. But I really developed a passion for writing music, so I didn't go much deeper into being a pianist. I didn't go much deeper into becoming a pianist, and I started to focus on writing lyrics and singing, rapping, that kind of thing. So from there, I realized, okay, I really like songwriting because I was already doing poetry and lyrics and things like that. So as time went on, I really focused in on lyrics. And of course, during that journey, learning how to produce music, you start learning how to make beats, start figuring out how to use software, mixing, all that stuff. I bumped my head through everything. And then over time, I got professional at it and started to kind of like help other people and help myself, obviously. 2018 was the first year I dropped a professionally mixed project. And of course, it's fun, it's exciting. People see you doing something new and you're finally getting to a level of quality you've always wanted to be at. But I didn't really know much about promotion and marketing, so I did it. I made a music video, and it came out and everybody liked it. And I just kind of like took an archaic approach to things. And as I've kind of gotten some experience in music, I learned how to do things differently. And since then, I've been really just kind of learning, improving, and growing And so in 2019, I dropped an EP, which was just me still kind of experimenting different types of music. I produced one of my best songs, Chill Out. I did Up. A lot of different kinds of music came out of that year. And I progressed on to my next year. In 2019, I dropped like my first R&B EP. Made the song Mocha, which was another kind of like brighter moment in music I've made, and opened up my fan base a little bit to a different kind of sound from what I started with. After that year, 2020, I dropped part 2, part 1 of A Much Colder Place, my last hip hop effort, which did well, and was once again a different sound from what I started with in 2018 and everything preceding that. And I kind of really understood at that point, okay, I need to learn how to market myself and promote myself. So 21 came. I don't recall if I dropped a song in 21, but I knew I wanted to focus myself on learning how to market myself and promote, and I delved into media and camera work and getting to understand things behind the lens. So that brought me to working with Fourth House and kind of rebranding my company. And now we're at my latest effort, A Much Colder Place Part 2, which is probably my most complete work to date. And so now, I'm taking with me the marketing experience that I took over the past few years, learning, just growth in general, and just really bringing back, I guess my best effort into something that I, believe in. And, I have 2 other singles coming out as well that are on R&B, and just me kind of really giving my best effort. So it's been a journey making music, developing a company. I've been making more and more relationships with people, developing myself, giving advice. And it just got to a point where it's like, okay, now if I want to take things seriously, I got to start using, the right gear, got to start working with the right people, and putting them in the right position to succeed so I can succeed as well. So that's pretty much been my, journey in music professionally the past 4 years. And I'm looking forward to, a lot of new things to happen going forward. So that's pretty much what it is.
For those who haven't heard you before, how would you describe your style?
How would I describe my style of music or singing or whatever? Well, I'll say first, before I even describe it, I'll say my inspirations are people that firstly, let me go back before that. My mother, number one, is my introduction to music. She loved to play lots of music, just oldies, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder. Those are like my favorite. Those are like the people who inspired me the most to write music. So when listening to them, I would hear how they structure their words, their lines, the ideas that they created, the imagery that they would put in my mind when listening to what they were saying was just so intense and beautiful and well put together. So I never realized how closely I identified with writing music until, I really kind of got older and looked back on my favorite music and realized, people like Michael Jackson, etc. These people inspired me to want to be a musician, because I really took a strong affinity to words and lyrics early on, and now I see why I kind of have that, that bond with music writing. So, having that foundation of mostly R&B, specific kinds of soul music is what kind of like pushed me in the direction of becoming a musician. And then I just kind of like eventually, once I got of age to really employ all of those things, I started to become a musician. Of course, around, I want to say 17 or 18 is when I really started to listen to hip hop more and kind of like understand it was more out there than just what I would hear in the street. Of course, I'm from Atlanta, born and raised, Decatur, Zone 6, what's up? But I didn't hear a lot of the music that was being made around the country. I would hear Southern hits, I would hear the Billboard hits, like the major smash hits, but I didn't know there was stuff being made out there that wasn't hits, that was interesting music or different styles. So once I started to hear those things, my desire for hip hop grew dramatically. And I started to listen to people like Lupe, even Outkast. Even though they were popular, I didn't realize how much of their music wasn't on the radio. So, I started to delve into kind of like the backstory of music. I started to listen to people like Eminem, Jay-Z, etc. These people who I realized were, huge pioneers in hip hop. And that's kind of like what set me into writing and just doing more on that aspect. So with that being said, I started out my music career on more of a lyrical front. So I wasn't really singing like that. It was really just me writing lyrics, punchlines and stuff. And I was kind of just like, keeping it to myself because, you're hearing the stories, you're hearing J. Cole, you're hearing all these people talk about what they went through trying to achieve their dreams. So you don't want to be that person. You're like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want my friends, like me trying to tell my friends, I rap, especially if you're not good at it yet. You don't want them to be like, oh, this is trash. But that's kind of got to happen at some point if you're not really good at it or you're learning or whatever. So I was kind of keeping it a secret for a while. And then eventually I was just like, yo, this is what I do, guys. And then, you get tested if you're good at what you do.
I'm back, I'm lit, I had to change clothes. But through it all, we can't fold. Yeah, I need to start writing this verse.
So, that's how I identified with music early on. It was Lupe. I liked artists like B.O.B. Back at the time. T.I., a lot of the Southern artists who were, kind of like booming at the time. Those were the people I identified with. And then, I started to like Chicago music, some New York music, West Coast music. And I started to just kind of like blend all of them together. Currently, out of the people in music now, or more currently, I liked a lot of Kanye. He was a huge inspiration to me for sound because back when I was making beats, originally, honestly, when I was in music, I didn't intend on becoming an artist. I really was just making music for other people because that's how I started out. When I was making songs in school, I was giving them away. So I never really saw myself as the artist. It was always me just learning how to make beats and record for other people. So, I liked Kanye because he was a producer. And I liked, the fact that he could do both, but I was like, hey, he's weird, he's different. So that attracted me. Then eventually, I realized, okay, nobody wants to rap on my beats, so I gotta do it. So I started doing it. Style-wise, I always resembled more of a Childish Gambino. That's what, people who hear me say. They say I resemble Andre 3000, Childish Gambino. Those are mainly the two people I consistently hear. I've heard people say Kendrick every now and then, but mostly I always hear Childish and 3000 from people who hear me. And I guess it's because I'm like from the South and lyrical, so that just makes me 3000 or whatever. Even though I don't really, personally see the connection, but it is what it is. I feel like he's a lot more Southern sounding than I am, just, my opinion. But style-wise, as far as my music is concerned, I really think my style now definitely resembles my aggressiveness is definitely a childish. It's form of the Childish Gambino. Melodically, I kind of sit in a Drake kind of lane, and then like the tone of my music would be more of a Kyle. What he kind of did, he kind of always had this like positive music kind of thing going on, but I'm just a little bit more aggressive, I think, than Kyle is. But I like how his writing is. I like how his melodies work. So I'm a fuse of those guys. And then at times, I like to like hint back to me being like a Lupe fan back when that, I was first listening to The Cool, etc. So that's one of the, I think that's how my music is. But I try to also still be unique and different to myself, and just make music that I like. So it could be anything at any given time, but those are like my main influences. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now I've got A Much Colder Place coming out this February. 23 tracks, like 2 skits maybe. Super work, a lot of work on that album. I've worked on it for 2 years, so I originally, when I dropped the part 1 of A Much Colder Place, it was supposed to I was gonna do like something fun and do like 6 months later the next part's coming out, and I could have done that, but strangely enough, at this point, I want to say maybe 2 tracks that are on this album now were part of the music that I originally was going to drop that 6 months later. So all of the music grew dramatically in quality, and I started to just kind of weed out the stuff I knew wasn't going to make the cut. I'm like, man, all this music, I still liked it, but the quality wasn't there. And trying to remix some of the songs was stressful because, trying to get in contact with people again, and I like this singer, I need someone to replace her. It became a hassle, so I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna let this one go. So I did that, and a lot of much better music came out of it because I didn't rush, and I'm happy for it because I wanted the theme to continue as it was, and I ended up doing a twice as long project than I did the first time, because the music has been out for a while, but I didn't want to say, hey, let me do a part 3. I just said, you know what, we're just gonna roll with this and move on, and just drop all this music and just promote everything. So this new album is like everything I've really worked hard to create and do the past 2 years. So I'm hoping it's obviously good. I'm obviously hoping it's good. But I've shared with close friends and other people the music, and they're really liking it. So we're hoping to do some good stuff. And then I have 2 R&B singles coming out, which I feel like are 2 of my more, I won't say stronger attempts at R&B, but very, I would say, passionately written songs that I think will connect more closely with serious R&B listeners. Because when I did Off Balance, it was just me kind of experimenting, and some of the stuff I feel like is still good music. I just kind of broke the ice a little bit with that genre. But now I'm probably taking more serious shots at R&B for sustainable listens and things like that. So it's a lot of new music coming out February, March. I'm gonna probably be dropping just every month this year. I'm just gonna keep it coming and just keep going as long as I can. So that's the plans for all the music. Definitely keep an eye out. Fourth House is always open for business. We're here to help people succeed as well, and we're looking for a great year. We'll be doing our merch launch in February, March. We're gonna have a bunch of people come out to the lookbook. It's gonna be great. We're gonna do a more in-depth dive into Fourth House later, to give you guys more of an understanding behind the inspiration behind it. Yash is gonna be here for the interview coming soon. So that's what's been up pretty much. And we'll dive into it. So and this is Boombox Playlist. Okay.
Michael loves Lorraine. We love her beats, her production, everything she does is awesome. So we're happy to have her here. We did a brief. This isn't our first collaboration, but we did a brief collaboration on the last R&B album I did, which was an icebreaker as far as me getting into creativity and doing R&B and stuff. But I don't know. This might be a single or something. I like this beat a lot. We'll see what happens. So we're just gonna get into it pretty soon. Yeah.
Soonish.
Yeah.
phone, get my family on the phone. Need support, not be alone is what I'm trying to do.
With this song, the emotion I hear is like someone who's not, for lack of a better word, learned the hard way, but basically gone through something and learned some things are out of your hands and you just gotta roll with it anyway. So it's kind of like just understanding more thoroughly what you've gone through. So it's kind of like not so much as a coming of age, but I guess an acceptance sort of emotion.
Okay.
But energy wise, like, it's not sad, but it could be.
Okay, I see.
But you think I might just sing right there. Yeah, I'm gonna sing right there. Okay then. I'm ready. You wanna record now? I'm ready when you are. Steven. I'm just a nobody, dude. Don't know about you, but I'm tired of clocking in. Got this job that I really ain't rocking with. So I get off of work and I ride a bit, get it going, and soon I'll be mega lit. Going off on the beat, tell the rest to quit. I just grab me a rhythm, I get my fix. I'm waking him up, like back from the dead. The game was stood up, I put it on his head. Boy, they looking funny, I'm talking like Ted. I'm not a teddy bear, but she cuddle with this. Asking me if I'm a father of her kids. I be like, maybe one day I'll be